Thomas the Tank Engineer Friends, Take and Play and Tank Along Adventures. Episode 25, Stafford's Muddy Slide. Knapford Station had been very busy on the island of the Sir, full of engines going in and out with cars and coaches. And there were more of them working in the yard as well. And these engines are called station pilots. Station pilots are engines who work in the yard, keeping it in good order, and fetch trains for larger and important engines. But Knapford Station didn't have one for quite some time now. And whenever there's no one working in the yard, the bigger engines like Henry and Gorin had to fetch their own trains themselves, which causes them to be late. And this also makes the passengers very cross and saying what a bad really this is. So, Sir Topham Hatt decided to bring in a new engine to be a permanent station pilot, so the big engines won't be late and fetching their own trains. He later told the other engines about it that night. He'll be here tomorrow, so all of you must make him feel welcome and treat him with good respect. Yes, sir, replied the engines. We will, sir. This made Sir Topham Hatt smiled. Good night, everyone, he said, and he drove away. But the engines were still awake. They were all wondering, what will the new station pilot be like? Will he be a diesel, Pete Percy? James snorted. Of course not, he replied. Diesels are devious. They're dirty. They're smelly. And they hate steam engines, he finished. Henry and Gorin had to agree with James. If he's a diesel, Gorin would say, then he'll be disgraceful. Disgusting. Despicable. Now, you three, soothed Edward. No matter what type of engine will it be, steamy or diesel, Sir Topham Hatt told us to make him feel welcomed and treat him with good respect. Gorin, Henry, and James didn't care and went to sleep. And then the rest of the engines fell asleep as well. The next morning, Gorin chopped out his shed to pull the express. He chopped onto the turntable. As the turntable spun around, Gorin stopped by for a drink at the water tower. As Gorin was filling up, he could see an unfamiliar engine sitting outside the yard. As Gorin was done taking on water, he puffed towards Knapford Station. As Gorin got to the engine, he spoke up. Are you the new permanent station pilot? He asked. The engine jumped and looked over at Gorin. Yes, I am, he replied. Stafford is my name. And you must be Gorin. I heard many good things about you. You're a fast engine who pulls the express. And I'll get your coaches right away. Gorin smiled, as Stafford immediately set to work. A few minutes later, Gorin waited patiently for Stafford to arrive with his coaches. So were his driver, fireman, the passengers, the guard, and the porter. And when he did, Gorin was very impressed. He coupled up and chopped out of the station right on time. Keep on the good work, he called. Oh, I will, Stafford called back. Trust me, I can be a very good station pilot. Just then Toby arrived with Henrietta. Hello there, said Henrietta. You must be new. I am new. I'm the new station pilot Topham Hatt brought in. Anyway, my name is Stafford. Who are you two? I'm Toby. And this is my coach, Henrietta. It's nice to meet you, Stafford, said Henrietta. Nice to meet you too, Henrietta and Toby, replied Stafford. And what's your next train? I came here to pick up passengers, that's all, replied Toby. Oh, okay, replied Stafford. Anyway, it's nice meeting you, Toby. And you too, Henrietta. Goodbye, you two. Goodbye, Stafford, said Toby and Henriette at the same time. Then they both left. And Stafford rode away towards the yard. As day pressed on, as more engines stopped by, or in Knapford Station for the trains, or outside Knapford Station who were done pulling the trains, Stafford is always there. The engines soon found out how useful he was. They were all very impressed, and the trains were on time. The next day, as Stafford was busy at work in the yard again, Diesel rolled in and stopped by. Why, hello there, said Stafford as he stopped by. You don't look like that you're in a good mood. I'm not, replied Diesel, because Sir Topham Hatt wants me to take a freight train towards Farmer Cole's farm. And I don't know what I'm delivering. Stafford thought for a moment. I think I know, he said. You're taking eggs there. And the trucks full of eggs are right behind me right there on that siding. Let me get them for you. But first, I gotta get this train ready for Oliver. And Stafford rolled away. Meanwhile, as Diesel was waiting for Stafford at the platform, he was very tired and yawned loudly. And he didn't want to do his work. A few minutes later, as Stafford strung his cars on the platform, Diesel had an idea. Stafford, he moaned, I don't feel very well. I think I'm sick. Can you take my train instead of me? Sorry, replied Stafford, I can't. I'm not meant for pulling trains. Something in the yard is all I gotta do. I'm sure another engine will come by and take it for you. But, continued Diesel, if you take it, Sir Topham Hatt will think that you're a hard-working, really useful and helpful engine at the same time. Then he'll let you stay for sure. Stafford was still reluctant but agreed anyway. I do want to make Sir Topham Hatt proud so I can stay, he said to himself. Very well then, Diesel. I'll do your job for you, but only just this once. Diesel smiled. His plan had worked. Thank you, Stafford, he said. Just trying to help, replied Stafford, and he rode away. Now I can have a nice long rest, said Diesel finally, and he immediately closed his eyes and fell asleep. Meanwhile, Toby and Hank were at Farmer Cole's farm until they heard some screaming. As Stafford raced past the scrapyard, he was totally out of control and went down the steamer's viaduct. He was diverted onto a siding, rolled into the mud, and off the rails into a field. That was quite a slide, said Hank. And a close one too, added Toby. Are you okay there, Stafford? I think so, he called back, but my battery is jammed. Now it's covered in mud. I have to get it replaced, he sighed. Don't worry, said Hank. I'll pull you back onto the rails. And Hank did. And with one great heave, he managed to pull Stafford back onto the rails. Thank you, Hank, said Stafford. Just then, Sir Topham had arrived in a red car that the engines had never seen before. Stafford, are you okay? He asked. Yes, sir, I'm okay. But you may have to find another engine to take my spot. The mud had jammed my battery up. And the eggs are cracked and spoiled too. And I'll be out of action for quite some time. Then what are you doing here? Asked Topham Hatt. You're supposed to be working at Knapford Yard. Not taking these eggs here. Well, you see, sir, replied Stafford. And he told Topham Hatt about everything about Diesel back at Knapford Station. I'll have a stern talk with him, he said sternly. And I must find a new station pilot to replace Stafford until he gets prepared. Anyway, sir, said Toby, Who is this? Who's what? That red car you got there, replied Toby. Oh, Sir Topham Hatt, I almost forgot. This is Winston, my new inspection vehicle. He arrived on the island, sir, along with Stafford to help me get around the railway more easier and faster. Make that 2 new arrivals, chuckled Stafford. You'll be seeing Winston here and there, so be sure you'll treat him with good respect. Yes, sir, replied the engines. We will do that. Sir Topham Hatt and Winston smiled, and they both set off towards Knapford Station. That afternoon, as Stafford was being repaired, he was cross about Diesel and what he did to him, but he knew that Diesel had learned a very strong lesson. As punishment, Sir Topham had sent him to work at Knapford Yard for an entire week. Just then an engine arrived and stopped by. Diesel braked hard. He was surprised. Who are you? He asked. There is no time to explain, replied the engine. I got a train to pull, and I must be on time. Anyway, my train is a freight train. Right away, said Diesel. I'll get ready for you. As Diesel was going to get back to work, another unfamiliar engine raced past. Diesel was surprised. Did you see that? He asked. See what? Oh, never mind. Must have been my imagination. Don't worry. I'll get your train ready in no time. And Diesel immediately got back to work. And I would think that Diesel isn't really imagining things. Don't you?